we don't consider Modi ji government is relying on TDP. At least in our view. This was all started by Jagan Reddy. When he was in the government, he he tells political leaders, I will be in your heart only if you abuse other people.
What is going wrong? Why is this crowd management becoming an issue, and especially in the wake of this controversy?
I think in general, we don't have proper standard operating procedures when it comes to these kind of things.
He wears multiple hats. He is a doctor, an entrepreneur, a social worker, and much more. Meet Minister of State for Rural Development and Communication, Chandra Sekhar Pemmasani. Welcome to ThePrint, sir. You are watching ThePrint Unscripted, and I am Neelam Pandey. Well, we'll start with the first question on how are you navigating, coordinating with the NDA. You are part of the NDA alliance. How are you managing all of that? How has that experience been for you?
No, you mean NDA coordinating. I'm not the only one who had.
Like you're a minister working in an NDA government.
So working as a ministry, obviously, this is the first time getting into the politics and serving in government. All these last 25 years, I worked in private industry. I have two very good experienced ministers, cabinet ministers, Chauhan ji and Sindhya ji. They both are quite supportive. We all share work. Even though there is a lot of work, I think we are able to make significant changes in both portfolios that were allotted to me. So overall, I'm quite happy. And most of the time, if nobody has forced me to do anything that I don't want to do. They have given a lot of freedom. They are allowing me to do what I think are good. So in that way, I'm quite happy.
Why I ask this question is because, whenever I have interacted with the Minister of State, they always say that, we don't get much scope to do work. And, so which is why I wanted to understand that, how has been the experience so far for you?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. I hear that too. But I think it comes in both ways, in my view. Initially, that might be the case for a lot of people, but if you are proactive, you are working sincerely with integrity, and you are bringing a lot to the table, and you are problem solving and ensuring the boundaries are well maintained between the cabinet minister and MoS. And if you do along that way, I don't think there will be any problem, at least in my case. But as I said earlier, both ministers have given extreme freedom.
Mr. Sindhya and Mr.
Both of them have given extreme freedom. I'm extremely happy. In fact, I'm doing quite a bit of work in both ministries.
I will ask you more on that. But before that, why I talked about the NDA alliance and how has the experience for you? Because how do you, consensus building becomes a challenge. So, for the first time, Modi government is relying heavily on alliance partners. So, how difficult is it to operate in such a situation?
So, two things. We don't consider Modi ji government is relying on TDP. At least in our view. We were part of alliance even before the election.
Yes, but you know what I mean in terms of numbers.
People might be thinking like that, but we don't feel that way. At least in myself and Ram Mohan Naidu ji, both of us, both of our ministers, we think and work like BJP. Because at the end of the day, it is a progressive government, developmental oriented government. So far, I have not seen any conflicts that we want to do differently than what Modi ji wanted.
Right. And if you talk specifically about Andhra Pradesh, then how has the coordination been between the BJP as well as the TDP in terms of the overall development of the state?
Absolutely going well. We are not only in coalition with BJP, but also with the Janasena party. All three parties are working together. And Modi ji has supported quite a bit for Andhra development, whether it is giving a grant to Amaravati and fulfilling the dreams of Polavaram, railway zone, lot of railway developmental projects. And overall, we were in a much worse situation when we took the government. But without the center support, we would not have been able to implement all the welfare schemes that we wanted and all the developmental programs that we wanted. So all in all, actually, entire TDP is extremely happy with the association.
Well, you mentioned Amaravati. Now, Chandrababu Naidu is the chief minister. How do you look at this entire, Amaravati and capital development overall? How will that be carried out, and how do you view Jagan Mohan Reddy's, view on the subject?
See, he did not want to develop Jagan Mohan Reddy. He did not want to develop Amaravati as a capital. And he intentionally destroyed some parts of the section. I mean, I'll give you one or two examples specific. For example, there is AIMS hospital that was built with the central funds. They were suffering from water scarcity. He would not even give water to that. It took him 5 years to even understand that there is a water problem in AIMS. And then, our Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu garu, he created the entire plan in a very developmental oriented, like that means there is a small industrial area, people livable area, secretariat area. So multiple zones were IT area, like this zonal wise, like how advanced countries have this system. Jagan Mohan Reddy, he intentionally swapped. So wherever there are areas, he brought different people from poorer section of the people and he gave the pattas to that area. Even though there is so much land in the entire Andhra Pradesh, he wanted to create that kind of class barrier. Now, once you give all those pattas and everything, it becomes harder to do different planned zones. So this is how he destroyed intentionally. And railway projects, road projects, they were all started almost 8-9 years ago. None of them were completed. Now we are pushing them harder and getting to closure.
But what is a roadmap for the state's development, and how is BJP sort of, contributing to that? At
no,
the
obviously,
center.
Amaravati, with the World Bank support, we got 15,000 crores grant. For Polavaram, whatever is left were given. Railway projects, almost this year alone, 25,000 crores worth of railway projects were awarded. If you look at the highway project, we have almost 80 to 90,000 crores worth of railway projects. I mean, highway projects are being constructed. They are all in various stages of plan. For example, outer ring road surrounding Amaravati is estimated to be around 25,000 crores. Of course, it's under the cabinet approval committee at this time, but once that is approved, that is another 25,000 crores. Like this, there are so many, and then we are looking for defense clusters, aviation clusters in our Rayalaseema area. All of these things will only happen when you have a union government support.
Right. I want to talk a little more about, Andhra Pradesh. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a controversy that erupted when, TDP MLA Balakrishna, he called the Andhra Pradesh former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy a psycho. The manner also in which Chandrababu Naidu was sort of arrested. A lot of experts are talking about how Andhra Pradesh politics is becoming a bit bitter, day by day. How do you see that? How do you view that?
No, it's an unfortunate situation. There are two ways. This was all started by Jagan Mohan Reddy. When he was in the government, he tells political leaders, I will be in your heart only if you abuse other people. These are the exact literal words he told to the political leaders. And he intentionally promoted such kind of people. From morning to evening, anytime, whether you are talking to press, media, social media, this entire filthy language was introduced into the public life.
Right.
So that is the start of it. People don't, there were so many other chief ministers earlier in Andhra Pradesh, Congress government. No one ever called either Chandra Sekhar Reddy, the father of Jagan Mohan Reddy, psycho or anybody. But because they did not cross the boundaries. But because the way the Jagan Mohan Reddy behaved is what led to these kind of retaliative ones. But having said that, I still don't agree. Just because the opposite parties have done and used this kind of filthy language, TDP should not be using that kind of language. So I do not support anybody, myself also, in my entire political campaign. I have never disrespected Jagan Mohan Reddy garu. The reason why it is important for people not to disrespect the Jagan Mohan Reddy is one thing, because he is representing whatever the percentage of the people that elected him. So we're giving respect to those people who choose him as a leader. So in my view, I also don't support using that kind of language.
And how would you describe, yours and your party's relationship with Jan Sena and Pawan Kalyan? Because, there are many stories that always do the round that there's some unease, something is going on, something is not right. How would you describe it?
No, see, even within the family, you have a lot of conflicts, right? I mean, when you are dealing with two political parties with so many leaders at district level, at village level, whether the Chandrababu Naidu garu or Pawan Kalyan garu, they both cannot control every person's actions. I mean, wherever there is a strong leadership, for example, in Guntur, in my place, we rarely see any problems because we make sure everybody goes together and gives each one importance and systematically. In some areas, here and there things will be happening. That's a continuous process. But at the top, both the leaders are, really understand the unity of why all three of us need to work together for a sustainable development. But if you look at it, the way the entire destruction happened over the last 5 years, it is taking so much time to bring it back, the state. So both Pawan Kalyan garu and Chandrababu garu understand the importance of unity, because otherwise the opposition might take an advantage. And they resolve a lot of these issues amicably.
So, but all is well?
Oh, absolutely, all is well. All is, see, one thing you have to understand is Pawan Kalyan garu is a wonderful gentleman. He always puts public interest before his own interest, even if he gets hurt due to various reasons. For him, the public society is more important than his own personal thing. That is why we, Chandrababu garu, Lokesh garu, we all admire Pawan Kalyan garu for that aspect.
You mentioned Lokesh. A lot has been written about him, his way of functioning. How do you see him as a leader, and what changes have you seen, him undergo over the past few
Lokesh
years?
garu? Yeah, I mean, see, obviously, everybody, as the time goes on, as you get experience, you will be good at every day, right? You will be improving. What you need for a leader is, do they have the intent to do a good work, passion to do a good work, and are they really willing to put that much effort to learn the problems and solve it? These are the fundamental things. And I think he has shown in every aspect, whether you take 3,000 kilometers for the yatra, right? Afterwards, he came to he's also wearing so many hats, right? One, education department, which is inherently filled with unions and a lot of those issues. And no remarkable reforms have come, for several years. He had done quite a bit of reforms in education sector. He's also a minister for IT. He's working extremely hard, talking to not only companies within India and abroad, trying to bring a lot of investments. We got a lot of companies. That's because of the persistent efforts of him. And then he's a HRD minister as well. In addition to that, he also has to take care of the party. So for one person doing all those four, unless you have capability, is not easy. So in my view, he is handling extremely well. He has matured quite a bit. He is understanding deeply all the problems. And I think he's a very promising leader.
And why I also ask this question is because there's a lot of criticism that many political leaders get, especially, let's say, Rahul Gandhi or other leaders who are termed as dynasts by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that they all come from political families, everything has been given to them, So in that respect, many also criticize Lokesh. Yeah.
See, one thing you have to understand, being born to Chandrababu Naidu garu should also not be a disadvantage for him, right? If somebody is really truly wanted to do, at the end of the day, people have to accept anybody, whether it is a dynastic movie actor or a doctor from the family or a political. People have to accept. People will accept if you are working hard and if you are working with integrity. I think he has shown every possible way. I don't want to compare with other people. See, Lokesh garu is working day and night. day and night. I don't think there is any comparison with Rahul Gandhi ji or anybody in my view. He is a highly capable leader. In my view, a very good human being also. Very good human being. He is pure. He tells you if there is anything he doesn't like. I don't think people should be given a disadvantage just because he is a son of. He should be seen as individual, what he is doing and what his character is.
You know, a recent controversy unfolded in Karur. You must have seen what happened during Vijay's rally. So many people died. Before this, we saw what had happened, a stampede sort of a situation at Allu Arjun's, place. So I just wanted to understand that, we always see these crowd management is becoming a major issue, especially for the southern states. Obviously there are these, cult and obviously fan following, but what is going wrong? Why is this crowd management becoming an issue, and especially in the wake of this controversy? Yeah.
So I think these are all 2 to 3 issues. One, as you said, it's a cult following. These things happen mainly when it comes to movie stars, because people idealize them differently. When they come in front of them, they want to see that. The one is that. But second, I think in general, we don't have proper standard operating procedures when it comes to these kind of things. The resource, governments will have less resources to control massive crowds. So these are the, we have to do a lot of electoral reforms in my view, because not only this, there is a huge expenditure that's going on to display the strength of the public in all these meetings. So if we can get reforms such as like in US, where individual candidates debate on those issues,
right,
one-on-one like this, then automatically we can eliminate all of these things, right? There is no, now these days we have such a powerful media. Even if you do a rally, you're only addressing the surrounding area. With the media and other stuff, you can reach much larger audience. I think Election Commission and other people have to really talk about these kind of reforms on how to actually debate on what you actually want to do to the society, given a problem, right? So I think that when that kind of reforms come, automatically these things will get eliminated.
Right. Before I quiz you more on politics and governance, I would also like to know, what prompted or sort of motivated you to take a plunge into politics? You come from a different world. If you could tell us viewers, how has this journey been for you?
Yeah. So fundamentally, I studied in Osmania Medical College. At that time, I paid 15,000 rupees for my entire medical school. When you look at around the world, people spend a lot of money to study medicine.
Of course.
Right? And the goal of the government is so that when you get free education, you're going to serve people in India. But due to the disparity in the number of post-graduation seats versus MBBS, and then I wanted to do advanced studies, I went to US and I pursued my thing. So I always had a dream of giving it back to society, something pure as a gratitude. Because I have done so much in US to help the society there, but I have not done similarly in India. So that is always in inner burning and calling, or whatever you call, has always been there. And then my chief minister, Honorable Chandra, we always had maintained relationship. He also actually encouraged me and insisted me to contest.
Okay.
So, the both worlds have met, and that's how I plunged into the politics.
And what about your family? What was your reaction? Their reaction?
No, they are very supportive. My wife is extremely supportive. My wife and my children. Obviously I have my brother also. He's also. Anything we do is a family based. Without their support, I wouldn't do it. And my wife is also actually, she has a lot more social consciousness than even me. So I think we're good in that aspect.
Well, I want to talk a little about BSNL. What are your reflection on BSNL's journey, the 25 years, and what does it mean for India in terms of milestones achieved?
See, BSNL obviously, due to various reasons, right? Whether it is 2G, 3G spectrum mismanagement earlier, and then subsequently being a government company and the private players coming into the picture. Some corruption, multiple things have destroyed that entire company. And in that process, technology, rapid technology. See, ideally, Anything that has a rapid technological change and intensive customer support required, government organizations are difficult to perform in that kind of environment because you have to move quickly with the technology. Especially the telecom being 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, these are coming and it requires massive investments and all that stuff. But when 4G came, had they used Nokia, Ericsson, or other foreign companies, just like other Jio and Airtel, they would have been in a much better position. But Modi ji wanted to build our own technology, even if we lose a little bit in the beginning, Swadeshi technology. Therefore, they could not deploy the 4G. So that's why they lost a lot of customer base. Now, we worked extremely hard to get that technology. People who took 30 years to build that kind of technology in other countries, we were able to build in 3 years. And then we also worked very hard. Technology, BSNL entire technology, 4G software was written by C-Dot, hardware was developed by Tejas, and TCS was integrating all of that. So we had to make sure there is a lot of coordination issues are not there. And then we perfected the software and everything, and it's working really well. We installed on 100,000 towers now. Now we are going forward and making the BSNL work like a private company. We are making monthly targets, accountability. If there are cable cuts, we are making sure why they are happening and take the responsibility. All the towers should be up 99%. We're supplying them batteries, power plants. So we're going forward, we're running like a private organization. Therefore, I believe BSNL will, it will take some time because we only have 100,000 towers compared to Reliance and Airtel, which has 5x, 500,000 towers. So once we increase the number of towers with the 4G and 5G, we will be on track.
Any deadline for 4G and 5G?
We already launched with 100,000 towers with the 4G. As we generate a lot of revenue, we will be adding at least another 20,000 towers soon. Like that, it's a continuous process.
Right. When I told people that I was going to interview you, one of the things they said you must ask is this issue of calls getting dropped. A lot of people have been complaining, consumers have been complaining. Even when I had interviewed Sindhya ji last time, he had said that, this will be taken care of, we will be doing something about it. But why is this happening and what has the government done so far?
Are you talking about BSNL or entire?
Overall, overall. Yes.
So there are certain things, why these, because see, calls would not drop if you have X number of towers, right? It is all related to the capital expenditure, how we define that one. India being a cost-conscious country, the more they invest, the more quality will be there. But at the same time, they are, being these private companies, they would be looking for obviously returns. So we have to, if we push too strict rules without the revenue being generated to them, they may not be able to perform this one. So we have to we are giving them, we are tightening some of these things. Now, see, the point what you have to do, 4G to 5G requires a completely different capex. Right? They spent a lot of money on the 5G equipment and all that stuff. In that process, adding a lot more, and it is not increasing their revenue from going from 4G to 5G, other than the capex. So therefore, we have given them some time. Now we are tightening some of how we monitor these things.
Okay.
And they should be adding a lot more towers going forward, and then these problems will solve.
And what is IT 2.0 initiative and the postal digitation drive?
Yeah, so in Department of Post, all these years we have outdated technology. All these outside parcel courier services, they have much more advanced technology, right? Door pickup, SMS messages, and when you are delivering on-time delivery, there is so much logistics that's involved. And being in a government organization, DOP, not everybody can see through exactly what are happening. So now we revolutionize with all IT 2.0. Now circle head can see what the managers are doing. Managers can see what everybody in each post office is happening. We're monitoring everything. We're building a lot of analytics, dashboards. So as a minister, I can see exactly what's happening in any given post office. Everything is being made transparent and accountable. And you can see even the DOPT, Department of DOP will significantly improve. It's actually started improving already, and it will improve even further.
Well, you have engaged closely with each state unit of India Post as well as BSNL. What are your sort of understanding of what needs to be done? Also, when we talk about postmans, in today's time, obviously their work is more about now serving as courier service and all of that. How do you make it competitive when you have, other private companies? What is the way forward?
Yeah. So, see, all these years, nobody has really taken the time to build it this deeply. So now we have a revenue projection. That is the ultimate target for any given circle, either
Right.
BSNL and Department of Post. And the circle head is responsible for driving that one. And then they will disseminate their targets to the below. And since now they have a lot of visibility. For example, why we are not generating revenue in, for example, BSNL towers? Batteries are down. People lose. There are a lot of cable cuts happening because there is a lot of construction activity happening. So now they have to make sure if any cable cut happens, how many cable cuts are happening any month, any given month. What is the actual time to repair that cable cut? There used to be 24, 36 hours. They will go whenever they want. Now they have to do within 4 hours. And then we are putting these SLAs in such a way, the cable repair, whatever agency that we hire, will only be paid if we have 99% uptime of that tower. Like that, we are fundamentally changing the quality of service. And this will obviously lead to customer service satisfaction.
Right. And what about making it competitive?
No, absolutely. Competitive is, once the quality of service is almost fundamental. Second, our prices are always lower than the private players. So that kind of building that trust and accountability and transparency. And in a massive organization, everybody should be able to see where there are lags happening. So once we have visibility with all these monthly monitoring, I'm monitoring personally monthly. Sindhya ji will be monitoring every quarter. With all these, for each department, we have 10 easily measurable, simple, non-controversial. They are not subject to judgments. It's really objective data is being calculated and being monitored consecutively.
If I have to ask you about your 3 top priorities for Ministry of Rural Development and Communications, what would it be?
So in Ministry of Communications, one, increasing DOP revenue, Department of Post revenue is right now around 13,000 crores, but we spend around 35,000 crores. We want to increase the revenue at least 20 to 25,000 crores. That's number one. And BSNL also, we want to take, right now our market share is around 8%, 9%. We want to take it to step by step every year, at least 5% more. 15, 20, 25 within the next 3 to 4 years. That's the kind of target. And again, BSNL is in terms of monitoring all of that. And third, in Department of Telecom, we want to make sure BharatNet, we are spending almost 1,40,000 crores, that BharatNet is also really well maintained, because almost 2.6 lakh gram panchayats will have this high-speed connection. Again, there are a lot of cable cuts, no redundancy. All of these will be monitored very effectively. So that is another thought. Those are the 3 priorities. And in the rural development, we have housing scheme we launched, and we wanted to ensure that goes really well. And we're building a lot of new models of housing. That is one. And second, self-help groups, Lakpati Didis, how we can really accelerate that process.
Prime Minister has spoken a lot about that.
Lakpati Didis is another important aspect. And then we also have Manrega, rural unemployment scheme. That one, there are a lot of reforms we need to do in that Manrega scheme, because there is some misuse of funds are happening. So we're also working on those.
So anything specific that you're looking at?
No, I mean, that is not something I cannot talk at this time.
Okay.
It has to be approved by Prime Minister and all that stuff. But there are a lot of reforms we wanted to, because that's something we spend almost 90 to 100,000 crores any given year. So when you look at it 5 years, we're talking about 5 lakh crores. I mean, 5 lakh crores is a lot of money. And this idea is to build visible assets by using local employment. So we want to make sure that 5 lakh crores is actually get utilized, and we can see a visible development.
Right. The informal group of ministers They also play a crucial role in interministerial coordination. You're also part of one of that. Any insight that you can share, from that, whatever is, is in public domain, and how do you think it's helpful? What does it mean for governance?
See, I mean, this is one thing that's really good about Modi ji is, he's never constant. He's always looking for new ideas. What can we do? This is the time if we really want to make reforms in this country. I think he's he's the real driving force here. That's one. And second, I don't want to share individual details about any given ministry because that has not been approved yet. But the key here is, what can we do it now, right? And then what are the long-term objectives we want? Where can we in each segment that we can be world-class rather than just being among ourselves? I mean, these are the things, and that should be really transformative, not really small incremental changes, right? Whether it is education, whether it is sports. For example, if you want to get into 2047 Viksit Bharat, now we are at the Olympics more than 70 rank. But if you want to get into 10, what is the sports infrastructure we need in this country? Education, those kind of reforms is what they are looking for, and we're all giving our inputs whatever we can do.
The opposition has criticized the Modi government over the 130th constitutional amendment bill. What is the TDP's view on that, especially with many pointing out that, even Chandrababu Naidu has a number of cases against him. So, they're talking about how in future this can be misused or this can become a tool which can be, used to sort of harass people.
See, if you look at it, before 2014, the 10 years of UPA government, we used to see a lot of scams every day. 2G scam, right? Adarsh home scam, Commonwealth Games scam. But over the last 10, 11 years, you don't see any scam of that magnitude. That's because, there are strict actions, monitoring is being done here. Whether that's because it's because of the personal interest of Modi ji and BJP government, right? In the long run, not everybody who is going to come will be a Modi ji. So we need effective systems. So in that way, people who don't do bad things don't need to fear, right? I am not fearful. Even if they put me 1 week, I said go ahead, because I know I am not going to do any bad thing. That is number one. And so in that aspect, TDP will absolutely support any kind of reform that's going to create a lot more transparency and honesty, integrity into the politics.
Right.
Second, can this be utilized as a weapon? Absolutely, that is always for any law. You see there, SC/ST atrocity was invented with a real good intention. There are always here and there some misuse happens. That is why it was given to joint parliamentary committee to go through, fine-tuning exactly what the guardrails would be. And this will be discussed, and obviously TDP will participate in that process and will give whatever suggestions we need.
So you don't think that, going forward, there are chances that this can be misused and maybe some changes are required, or you're saying that this should be discussed later on?
No, we will be discussing before it is introduced into the parliament, right? Where TDP will participate in, like for example, Works Board bill, right? In that also, TDP gave a lot of suggestions, and many of them were implemented in that process. Like this also, we will be giving a lot of suggestions, and I'm pretty sure they will be implemented.
Right, you come from a southern state, and which is why I especially want you to answer this question, that, many have criticized how, sort of BJP has been pushing this north and south divide, especially in terms of language war. How do you reflect on that, this Hindi, how they're trying to sort of, in southern states, how they're trying to impose Hindi?
See, that's a regional specific sentiments that are being used by different people. But personally, I'll tell you personally, right? In my life at this time, if I have one weakness, that is not having Hindi language. No, it's truly. Had I known Hindi like the way every one of you speak here, I would be in a much different level of communication. Because that's language is a means of communication. Obviously, large number of people would be in this country speak Hindi. Whether you are from Andhra, Tamil Nadu or anywhere, if you want to go and do different types of business, you want to scale the business or work in different states, knowing multiple languages is a plus. I mean, why everybody is speaking English?
Right.
If you exactly, if you take the same thing, English is also similar, right? You could abandon that. So for me, the more languages anybody, obviously native language is always gives you a lot more command. Nobody should force not to learn native language. Native language should be preserved. And I think English and Hindi, ideally, if they have 3 languages, they can excel not only in India and around the world.
I think the opposition that many parties or experts have is on the view that Hindi is being imposed. So that should not be it.
I mean, I don't know what they mean by imposed. I mean, nobody is telling you not to learn Tamil or Telugu. Nobody is telling you not to learn English. Nobody is stopping you from that. If you want to learn Hindi, it is always a good in my view.
Right. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time and speaking with us. It was a pleasure to speak to you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
This is Neelam Pandey reporting for ThePrint.